Welcome back, everyone. Going into the third hour here of Court of Swords. It's time to kill this fucking wolf.
Or die trying.
All right. So
Literally.
the wolf, he's actually not a wolf. Sorry, delete your token. So he doesn't transform into a like wolf man shape. He reaches into his chest and pulls apart the olive skin underneath. And as his body reforms, he takes on a dull kind of orange black like striped pattern. He has a feline snout instead of a lupine one, and you can see that his claws are more cat-like than wolf-like. But this isn't to say that he's just a kind of tiger-human hybrid. He also has massive bone spurs that jut up out of his back, out of his shoulders, and run down his spine. He has a long, bony tail that ends in a spike. He has these like massive, horrible, like gnarled fangs. And he
I got fangs too. What of it? Who
tears
cares?
himself apart as he transforms and snarls in your face, spitting on you.
This motherfucker just went like Super Saiyan on us or something.
He did. No, he did. He went the...
Berg, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. DC is 14.
I'm great at these.
I'm expecting a 0 again.
Oh, wow.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. A negative
All
1.
right. So, Berg, you have the frightened condition. You are frightened of him, and you may resave at the end of your next turn and continue to save every time it is.
I can't attack him because I'm a little bitch boy right now.
You can attack. You're just at disadvantage. You just can't move any close to him.
This is what I did to the wolves that were attacking you.
Yeah.
I could reckless attack to try to negate that, but he's going to get advantage, so that's not smart.
Enoch, it is your turn.
The cursing picks up even louder as I'm just seeing nothing but bad things occurring in front of me over and over, and I can't do anything, and I move 2 forward. And that's that.
All right. Okay. Berg, it is your turn.
Adam, yeah, chat says I'm rage. That.
Yeah, it's almost like you looked it up beforehand.
I know, we looked it up.
Yeah,
we looked it up. It's level 6.
At 6th level, you wouldn't be charmed or frightened while raging. So that's for you, chat.
Boom.
Berg, go ahead.
Okay.
Aren't you like 20 XP from level 6 too?
Well, I can still. Yeah, I am. Pretty. I'm like not 20. It's like 1,000 maybe. Yeah. No, less than 1,000.
You'll
like
get it from this
700, 600.
Yeah.
All right. So I can still get my 3 attacks. It's just a disadvantage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no point, in my opinion, doing reckless because
trying to overcome your fear.
Let's go.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Fucking murder him. 15
with the 1 necrotic, so I get that back.
Okay.
Another attack.
Oh my god!
Really
just
great.
working out some issues on this guy.
Another 15.
15. Okay. How's he looking?
Like you hit him with a hammer twice.
All right, cool.
Oh, there it is.
Isn't it? Yeah. Aren't I on disadvantage though?
Yes, that's why you got a 10. All right. Well, the first 2 blows they connect, no problem. Yep.
For some reason in my head, every time I like disadvantage, because most often it's like the one on the right. It's like it means the one on the right, right? Even though I know it's wrong.
So you're you're scrapping with the shapeshifter.
Yeah, I am.
Jiva, you're free. You're free of the bullshit.
Actually, it's my turn.
Oh yeah, that's right, Ramus. Sorry. Yes. Let Ramus have turn. Then you're free.
Celebrate one round
close.
later.
Move forward 1, and then I will cast Guiding Bolt at him.
Oh,
and
fuck
miss
yeah,
horribly.
Oh god.
Oh, and Bird,
God.
make your fear save. Okay, yeah, Guiding Bolt goes way past him.
What's the fear save?
No, definitely still frightened.
Oh, done.
Wisdom.
He's scary with his spiky tail.
It's true. Okay. So yeah, Ramus, you moved and fired. Ziva.
Yay.
Oh, another necrotic. I didn't. Oop, there we go. 15.
I'm not excited about this. Let's see. I
You're in
guess.
better shape than Berg.
Yeah, but I can't like if I shoot him with a bow, he doesn't care about that. So I like have to get close to him to attack him is the thing.
If
There's literally nothing you can do to him. Just
there's
yell at him.
You can, if you can find a way to describe it in the narrative, you can use your action to help Berg and give him advantage on one of his attack rolls.
Do it.
Can I then I guess somehow distract him or like because I'm still technically I'm still hidden, right? So can I
Yeah.
hit him or something maybe?
what are you gonna scare him? Hey, look out over here! Then he jumps back.
You don't know. Look. So 25 is 1, right? And then I have to move again.
What are cats scared of? Look, a giant vacuum.
If you have a laser pointer in my bag, okay?
Run up at him with a broom.
Yeah.
I mean, all you gotta do
spray
is
him with a spray bottle.
all you gotta do is take your action in a way that allows you to to describe narratively helping Berg. It's not like I'm not gonna be real super picky about it. So just shooting an arrow at him or like yelling, waving your arms, something.
Yeah. Well, because I know the arrow isn't going to do anything, but I'll fire at him to distract him from Berg.
Okay.
Because now there's not just one enemy, there's 2.
Okay, let me make sure you
There's
can
like
do that.
7 arrows technically in him.
I see. Oh, alternately, you can aid a friendly creature in attacking a creature within 5 feet of you. Okay, so you'll be able to do this in melee, but you can't do it right now. So you can't get close enough yet. Unless you want to make your third, because you can move again instead of helping. But you do have to be able to help in a fight, you have to be within 5 feet of the target.
What? Okay. Well, but if I move again, I can't attack or anything.
Right, you'd just be standing next to him.
He's probably gonna attack me, but I don't know.
Maybe he's got a thing for halflings.
If nothing else, I mean, she could tank some damage. What's your total HP?
I did already shoot him a few times. My total is 45. I have 33 right now.
You're fine. Get in there.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. But if I was
Okay.
up there, I'd fucking be doing it too. Yeah.
Yeah, so Ziva, do you want to take him? Okay, there you go. So next turn, you'll be able at least to help him.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we get any sort of bonus because he's being flanked now?
No.
Okay.
All right, so the wolf gets to go. He gets 3 attacks.
I can't wait to see how much he fucks me up.
He gets 3 attacks.
You've got your racial.
Is he
Yeah,
wearing
I know.
with laces? Can I tie his laces together while he doesn't know?
His shoes got like ripped open when his feet got all giant and
Like
tiger.
tugging at his tail, like I bet you don't like this shit, huh?
All right, so he gets a bite attack and 2 claws. So he's gonna try to bite Berg.
Good luck. That's a crit. Oh, thank God.
He doesn't hit
Holy
you.
shit! He gets
Yeah,
plus
good, you're
10.
So he
What
tries to bite
the
you,
Fuck.
and you dodge out of the way.
He
And then he
fails.
takes. He's gonna take a claw swing at Berg.
And he fails
He
again.
gets a 20.
But he only hits 6, so it's 3.
Hits you
right?
for 6. Yep.
2, 3.
Yep. So it goes down. Yep.
Come
and then
on, you piece of shit. Let's go.
He gets another claw
He's still
swing.
gonna attack. Don't taunt him yet. It's not a crit.
16.
Miss.
Okay. So
It's not enough. Get that shit out of here.
all right, Enoch.
Yeah, I'll move 2 steps forward. And that's the route. I mean, how far? Like,
Nature.
oh, I can't help him because he's 5. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay, Berg.
So she's helping me on one of my attack rolls
No,
here?
not yet. Next
No,
turn.
not yet. Right, okay.
So you're still at disadvantage from the fear.
All right.
From fear.
I really don't want to give him advantage, so I'm not going to reckless attack. Boop.
Murder him. 14.
You miss.
He's got like 15. Oh, that's
That's
it.
it. There you go.
11. Get 2 necrotic back. And third and final attack. All right. It's disadvantage, though, isn't it?
12.
You miss. Yeah. Okay, make that con save or wisdom
Shucks.
save. Sorry.
And,
Wisdom
we can get some potential more damage against us, right? Or
Wisdom
no,
save.
this is for fear.
Just to see if you can, shake off the fear.
Wisdom, you said, right?
Yeah, wisdom save. You need a 4. There you go.
I ain't afraid no more.
So you're not afraid. You fear. You fear no tiger beast, and your turn's over. All right, Ramus.
I will move up 2 squares.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna attack. Do I get 2? If I have the short sword, I've got 2 short swords, so I get to attack twice.
Yes. Now, chances are very good you won't hurt him with your swords. So if you want to, you could use your action for something else instead,
You could aid Bird.
like helping Berg. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
But how do I help him? Can I do I give a motivational speech or?
It's
Sure.
your,
If
it's your
that's how you would
character.
help, it's your character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you want to
I
interpret it
can tell you
as.
how you do it.
You're doing great. Oh my God, you look so angry.
Stabbing.
So
I mean,
dangerous.
stabbing him in this case is more like help, right? You're just trying to be annoying.
Right.
It's more
Yeah.
showing. Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Okay. Right.
I'll just stab him.
Okay.
Hey.
Yes. Turns out he's very annoyed by you, and he's going to attack you with his claw.
Uh-oh. This is +10 too. Okay.
Even get to
No, the-
roll or anything?
The bite's +10. You don't have to roll anything. You're just using your action to help.
You don't do damage.
Now,
is
do you
what I was
have?
trying to
Hold
say.
on. Let me see. Can you do the dodge action with your uncanny or with your the ability that gives you the bonus action, cunning action? No, you can't. Dash, disengage, or hide. Okay. Anyway, so he hits you for 6. He just like lashes out with a claw. It's not a focused like intentional attack. He knows that Berg is the person he has to kill, so he just kind of swipes out at you.
Wait, couldn't
Um,
I disengage?
You
With
can use
cunning
your
action?
uncanny dodge to lower the damage.
Yeah, no, you can't. You couldn't help and disengage. You have to stay within 5 feet to like give that help. But you can, you can reduce this down to 3.
Okay.
And then Berg.
What's the point of that?
What was he
When
telling
it's,
me now?
when it's Berg's turn, yeah. So Berg, you take 12
6.
from the bite,
Right?
and then a
6,
second. Yep. Yeah, you're reducing all
2.
these.
8.
Okay. All right. Enoch, it's your turn. The help action, Anne, is that now Berg will have advantage on his next attack.
Yeah, but I don't get why I can't stab him, which distracts him, and then move away at the same time.
Yeah, to give help, you have to be within 5 feet of the foe for the person to have advantage on the roll. So you can't come in, help, and then back away. The helping
Yeah,
requires
that's
that
what
you be close.
That's what that doesn't make sense to me because I was
Oh.
within 5 feet, so it doesn't make sense that I can't attack. Give
If
help.
you
back.
back away from an enemy, they get what's called an attack of opportunity, which is a free hit if you don't disengage first,
Oh, but
which
this-
requires an action.
That's what
And you already
cunning
used your action.
is to disengage, because you get a bonus action to disengage. But it just doesn't make sense to me that you can't like dash in and stab and then like back off. Well,
Yeah, like I see where you're coming from. Like the idea that you could come in, trigger the aid action, and then go
Right.
away. But I feel like the intent of the aid action, and it doesn't say this in the rules specifically, but you have to like continue to help until the person gets to do what you're helping with, rather
Yeah.
than just be like, I'm helping, okay, bye, and then they do
It's
it.
the way it like mechanically works in the game. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
Um,
make sense. Like if this were a real fight, you'd just be like, yeah, and then go right back out. But
right.
Enoch, it's
Yeah, I
it's your
moved
turn.
2 forward. Let's move on.
Okay. All right, Berg, you have advantage.
let's attack. Yeah, that advantage though.
Yeah, you would have missed.
16 plus 4 necrotic for me if he's alive, which I'm sure he
he's
is.
He's still alive. Yeah. Not by much though. He's pretty beat up.
And another one.
Oh, there you go.
Double 29s.
All right.
The worst damage,
Okay.
though. Good lord.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
a terrible damage roll.
Uh.
But it is enough to put him down. Now he doesn't die.
Mhm.
But he's like out of the fight. So
is
you
he contorting or was he
swing the
doing?
hammer into him. Well, so here's the thing: you swing a hammer and you crack open his ribs. He falls to the ground, and yeah, starts to transform back into his human form. You have another attack if you want to attack him, like while he's on the ground.
Of course I am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you come swinging in, you crash in him. You don't get any more hit points. He's already dead.
That's not the crit, right? Yeah, this is just
Yeah,
tap
this
him,
is
right?
just the thing. But
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, you hit
16.
him, but his flesh is like reforming more quickly than you can kill him. Like you break his ribs and they all start to like crack back together. But he's not.
Have we accounted for that extra like plus D8? I haven't rolled that. Or does it
Yeah.
not matter?
It doesn't matter. Like you killed him. But the point I'm making here is that like you can't it doesn't matter. You can keep pulping him, but his body just keeps reforming. Now he doesn't look like he's trying to get up and like keep fighting you. Like he's in horrible pain. He's lying on the ground. His claws are scratching at the.
Good. I'll just keep hitting him, and this is just where we live.
This is
Someone
where you
will
live now.
sustain me they'll just give me nourishment while I just stand here forever for the end of time, keeping him in this state of pure hell and agony.
And he's not trying to move or run or anything. He's like yowling in pain and like writhing on the ground.
It's probably really frustrating too for him, like running through a giant thing of brambles.
The hammer is hurting him, but he can't. There's nothing he can do. He's just like his body is like reforming itself. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm just farming XP from him over and over. Just bah! Get back up. Bah!
Fucking spawn camping, motherfucker.
It's the Destiny loot cave all over again.
I mean, if we're not in combat, which I would imagine we're not.
No, I mean the fight
I'm
is over.
keeping
It doesn't.
in this state until people come over.
Right. So like this is it's horrific, right? Like Ziva, you just are watching Berg just smashing this like cat demon thing over and over and over, and it just can't die. Like he just keeps breaking its limbs and and I think eventually like the other two, you come up out of the brambles.
I'm still in rage too because I'm attacking.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Yep. And it's gonna be. I mean, eventually your body's gonna give out, Berg.
Yep.
Right? Like your rage only lasts 10 rounds.
Berg's focused
Yeah.
until everybody else gets here.
There is just like blood all over the place, right? Because it keeps reforming, and every time you hit him, there's just more splattering onto the pavement. So yeah. I mean, what do you do here? Like Berg, your rage ends, and he's like trying to crawl away, and you like smash him in the back, and he like goes limp for a second, and then his arms all kind of like bend backwards and like pull him back up, and and he's just like howling in pain.
I try to disconnect his head from the body.
Not with a hammer, no.
Oh man,
I mean,
that is a precision head popping off weapon, just like a rapier.
I was gonna say you need a rapier. For
We
that.
need a rapier. I've got a rapier.
He's
not
incapacitated
magical,
by the pain of having been killed, right? Like even if you stop, he's not gonna jump up and be like ah and like attack you.
All right, I stop for a moment as he crawls away.
He can't really. Like he's more like rolling around in agony rather than.
I get
crawling,
that. I'm just
right?
playing it out, just working out some issues that he caused on me. Give him a little bit of time to roll away, and then I just smack him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Berg's getting frustrated at this point. He's like, "Why won't you die?"
Yeah. Well, and you're exhausted, right? Like your whole body, your rage is you're not even angry anymore. You're just like confused and upset. And the other two, Ramus and Enoch, you come up out of the brambles and walk up, and there's just this like awful scene.
I will try to use. I'll keep sacred flaming his body to see if that's damaging him at all either. Just nothing.
No, like you scar his flesh with divine light, and it just bubbles and boils and then reforms the underneath.
He must be cursed to not be able to die.
Ramus, would that be tied to an object or something like that? Or is it just a curse?
I don't know. I don't have that information. We'd have to figure out why he was cursed and by who or what. Maybe the gazebo has clues. That was what we saw in our vision.
Is he not like regenning?
Yeah, slowly he's like his body is like reforming.
What do we do with him in the meantime?
Well, we could
Tie him up.
pull out some rope from my bag. We could take that arm right there and tie it to that.
So
I guess,
Enoch,
and-
you're standing near him, and he like reaches up, and he's got one hand is like a human hand now. The other is still a weird paw. He reaches up for you, like just kind of meekly, like kind of reaching up to bat at you, and his body is like racked with a bunch of coughs, and his jaws crack open, and he kind of vomits out Idris's head, not like up out of his body, but as if now the tiger thing is like a hood around his neck, and you just see like Idris's face on this like racked body, and he looks up at you, and he's just like, please, and like trying to grab you.
I don't have a immediate reaction. You just start to see like my mouth is I'm in shock, and then tears start coming down my eyes. And I don't have any way to hurt this guy.
I think Berg just swings at Idris's head.
Right. So it's just like bang, and there's like a
What?
splatter,
He just
like-
exploded my friend's head? Why would
A
you do
crack.
that?
He's dead already. You think he's gonna come back from this?
Yeah.
He was like, blam,
He's not
and just, like,
fucking Cell. He's not like regurgitating Android 18. That's not how this shit works.
And yeah, there's just like pulp, and the body is lying there trembling with no head. But you can see the bud of like a new skull growing up out of the neck wound.
This is a
It's gonna
minimum.
take- it's gonna take a minute, but his head is reforming.
I'm in
What,
shock that
Jesus?
my friend's head has just been smattered like a fucking Gallagher watermelon right in front of
Is
me.
Idris's head reforming again?
No,
You can't tell.
creatures.
Oh.
It's like a weird like fetal like baby head. It's kind of featureless and smooth,
Like
covered
fucking-
in gore.
Yeah, it's Voldemort just like.
Yeah.
I'm completely and utterly stunned at this point. Not only by the creature doing what he's doing in front of me, by the fact that Idris's head has just been smashed in front of me, and his entrails of the
That was
brain,
submersive.
brain matter is probably all over my body and our bodies. So I'm just standing there, fucking mouth open.
Can you speak, creature?
It turns its newly forming head to you, and its eyes pop open, but one of its eyes is like formed normally. The other eye is like a closed fist that like fingers open up, and it kind of like goes out of its head and like grabs it. It's like grabbing around trying to like feel for you, and it starts to like moan or make a sound. But when it opens its mouth, I think that like a tuft of hair and teeth kind of just like comes up out of it. Yeah, this thing is like having a real hard time right now.
I quit. Thanks for me at Quarter Swords. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Berg starts to try to piss on him.
What?
Why?
Yep.
Why? Okay.
Yeah, because I just want to do it. Berg's pissed at this motherfucker. Literally pissed at this guy.
Okay. Great.
What?
He causes so much agony and pain. Berg's like,
Well,
you know
and
what? I
it's
gotta
like-
pee.
I mean, you're not getting the impression that it is like he seems like deaf and incapable of speech and blind and is just kind of like flopping around, reforming, trying to
All right,
reform
Berg
at least,
doesn't
and
do
is
it.
not
That
doing
probably doesn't
doing
make
a very good
sense.
job of it. It's trying real hard.
I really
walk
did.
over
wanna
to the
be on
entrance of the gazebo. What do I see inside there?
Blood mostly. I mean, it's hot out, so it's all like kind of congealed. There's flies, big cloud of flies buzzing around. Maybe some bits of cloth and stuff lying around. Yeah.
I take it back. Berg doesn't pee. That was a little bit of Max shining through. I just
Wolf fur.
fucking hate him.
I guess like a minute passes, and I finally like come to after being fucking stunned that my friend's head was just smashed in front of me. And if Ramus approaches the group, I say, Ramus, we need to ask some questions. The only way we could do that is if we let this finish.
It's starting to like bloat up. Like its stomach area is starting to get like the skin is getting tight and like swelling like a bubble.
Berg can finish him if he attacks us, but we got to get answers.
I'm gonna move like over here.
You just
Have you tried to fashion like a rope around him or anything like that? And I know that was like a thing you're trying to do, but I
I
don't know.
mean,
if we're...
I have rope in my hands. Like if his
yeah, okay.
arm
So
and
if
stuff is fully
Berg
formed.
sees, yeah, Berg sees like the rope and stuff. Being given what you just said, he's just like,
Adam,
Yes.
I would like to look around and see if there's like any like building that like he would be like residing in, like besides the gazebo, like that he, or it's just emptiness around us.
Just like the bits and pieces of its victims, maybe some chewed bones, that kind of thing. Its clothes and the satchel it was wearing when it tore itself open is lying to the south. His belts and all that stuff. I don't think that there's no like house. They don't like live in like, werewolf mansion or anything. It's in the werewolf district.
I think in noticing the pouch, I go over to look into it, see if there's anything, notes or anything inside.
Yeah, mostly like dried roots and herbs, maybe some bits of animal bone, various sort of did Ramus? Okay, this is going to be some canon overlap. Did Ramus travel with Gideon? Ramus and Gideon were like in a party together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is some Gideon shit.
we died together. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Wait,
so
like
that,
some
that kind of
actual
stuff.
get like there's shit
Not
inside the bag?
not literally.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, maybe some dried dung or whatever. But yeah, like
and
the
I
kinds,
smell
the kinds
that
of
dung in there.
the kinds of nature garbage that Gideon would carry around. And then he's got a big leather like satchel that is it's got a little like a bone tooth that it's wrapped around and it's closed. And you could open that up and dig through it.
Yeah, I don't know. Berg never saw Gideon do nature shit this effective.
Yeah.
True.
I guess I'll open up the other thing and see if there's anything inside there.
Okay, start digging through it. Okay. Cool. Let me see what he's got. It looks like you're gonna find mostly like coin and like trinkets. You find objects that look like they belong to a bunch of different people. So like a necklace. You find a pair of gloves, like woman's gloves. You find maybe like a bloodstained handkerchief, and then like some actual like proper like treasure. Let's see. Can you roll a d10 for me, please?
9.
Yeah. Okay. You find a potion. Actually, you find a couple of potions. It's in he has this little like brace underneath. There's two more potions of healing. You recognize those right away. And then another potion of like a darker kind of coppery color that you'll have to take some time to examine. Okay, I'm just gonna make a note what it is. And then in his bag, you find some treasure money-wise. He has about 700 gold.
It's a heavy ass bag. Jeez.
Yeah, I imagine it's not actually it wouldn't actually be in gold because he wouldn't carry around that much. So let's say it's in 700 gold worth of gems. Yeah, so like a pouch full of gems. Some of them still have like bits of the jewelry they were pried out of on them. And he has a scroll in the bag. Yeah, I think your magic. You pull it open and look at it. It's a spell scroll of sea invisibility. He was carrying around.
Darn, there's nothing in here.
What a shame. So anyway, you're digging through the bag. What's everybody else doing while that's happening?
Berg's probably predominantly catching his breath, and keep it like staying on guard just in case this motherfucker tries anything.
I'm starting to anchor down pitons in the ground with rope and trying to figure out the best way to keep this guy tied down. But as I'm doing it, I'm just thinking to myself, like, this isn't going to hold him down at all. He's going to be strong enough to just rip these out of the ground. So
what we need is, that like that contraption of like the bird, like you've seen in The Simpsons where Homer uses it to like do his work and press the Y key. We need that, but just like a big heavy spike at the end of it. So it's just
yeah.
So most of its body seems to have like withered away. It's like a empty sort of skin suit around this like bubble of perfectly smooth like brownish flesh. It's like about, I don't know, like you could just about get your arms around it. And there's like a little indent, like a little belly button that's popped out on one side because it started in its stomach, and it's you can see something inside like pushing against the surface of it.
Ramus, how do we stop this?
Pray to the tower.
I've been doing that all day.
I'll walk over and and take a closer look and see what I can see inside there. If it's a creature or person, or
you see two tiny like human hands like push against the outside. You see these like hand-shaped imprints like push against the skin from the inside.
one of you cut it open. Bird, get ready to attack it. if it attacks us.
Yeah, Berg's ready.
Take my rapier out and poke the thing.
Okay. Yeah, you
Popped
you
off his head.
Yeah, you poke it, and all the pressure inside like leaks out this thinnish, kind of like red, coppery smelling fluid as the thing kind of deflates, and the tear gets bigger, and it barfs out. Yeah, it's like about, I don't know, like half Ziva's size. It's mostly like human. It's got 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. Right? It also has like the stub of a bony tail coming out of the bottom of its spine. It's naked. It has patches of fur, like of orangish fur growing along its shoulders, on the top of its head, parts of its face. It looks like a human infant otherwise, kind of large head, smaller body. But you can see that on its thumbs, these big long claws. And it kind of just like tumbles out onto the stone and like makes a coughing sound, spits up some fluid, and then kind of starts to get up on its like hands and knees.
As that happens, Berg looks at Ramus and the others like.
Yeah, ready in action.
Just give it a second, Berg.
Creature, do you speak? I'm kind of stepping back in disgust.
Yeah, it turns its head at you, and it's still got like caul, like kind of stuck, like placenta sort of stuck to its face, and it like
Nice.
shakes its head, so the like goop kind of slides off down onto the ground, and it opens its eyes, and it's got these big kind of bright yellow eyes with slits for pupils, and it hisses at you, and you can see it's got these little like fangs that even as you watch are like breaking through its gums, just like blood dripping from its mouth. And you're watching it grow, like its limbs are extending. You can hear a creaking sound as its bones grow. And the thing, like you looked at it and it was like a fetus the first time you saw it, and you're watching it turn into like a toddler as you try to speak to it.
Ramus, do we let this thing?
Go ahead and hit it, Berg.
Okay.
It's growing.
Yeah, Berg. I attack it.
Okay, yeah, take a swing at it, Berg. Okay, yeah, you hit it. Cool. All right. So you just like smash it with your hammer, and it like comes apart like a bag full of meat, and just kind of like splatters on the ground, and just starts to reform. So it's like
What the
build itself
fuck?
back
What
up.
plane is this from?
This thing is bad news.
Did I get that necrotic back though?
No,
Oh,
no, it had like 5 hit points.
I want that sweet, sweet dark energy.
Ramus, you got to do something here. This.
I don't know what I could do. It's some kind of curse. I don't know. I'm not an expert in curses. I know how to curse, but that's totally different.
Ziva, you ever hear anything, see anything like this before?
When we look over at Ziva, what is Ziva doing, and what do you look like?
Yeah, that's the first time I've
Like-
taken my eyes off the creature. I
Yeah,
direct my
everybody
gaze
just
towards
turns
Ziva.
to look at you.
I've just been throwing up in the rose bushes next to me for the past like 5 minutes. This has been happening.
Yep.
Yeah, horrified. I like kind of am like crouched over, and I just like put my hand out. No, I have not. I'm just like, don't respond, really.
Yeah, I mean, does Berg know of any like fucking way to deal with this from maybe Hazan teaching from the tower? Just like, hey, if you encounter anything like this, is it, I mean, I don't know.
You could make an Arcana check if you wanted to.
Just seeing, from past adventures or experiences, or even just hearing from Hazan.
Someone can make an Arcana check. Someone can make a Religion check. Those things are both possible.
I got a -1 in Arcana.
I
Probably
got a
not.
0.
I'll make the Arcana check, trying to recall Berg's vision and relate it to this, why it keeps regenerating, trying to
Well,
like come up with like.
Before you
what I
make
could
that
think.
roll,
Yeah.
Ann, did you say you had a 2 in Arcana?
Yeah.
You're muted. Okay. You have a 2? Cool.
Not muted.
It wasn't muted. It's just Skype hates her.
Okay.
Sucks.
Yeah, we should. Is that higher than you, Dan?
I have 1,
We should let Ann roll somehow.
and
Okay.
I'll give you bless as well.
Okay, I don't know how that works.
You just added
I'm
D4.
It's just-
sorry, guidance. I meant to say guidance.
Yeah.
So you just get to roll an extra D4 when you make the roll.
Okay.
Ooh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Roll that D4.
I mean, blinking through your vomit-induced tears, you
Six.
cast a sidelong glance at the abattoir that this area has become, and they're like, "Oh, do you recognize this?" And you're like, "Well, that looks like an arm, and there's like a chunk of skull over there." And Berg just hit a baby with a sledgehammer.
It's not a baby. That thing is not a baby.
Berg just hit a
it's
2-year-old with
baby
a
size.
sledgehammer. So
You know what? Fine, keep going with this. And he'd do it again, Adam. He'd do it again.
I feel like you try to recall something, but you're just like, oh god, like it's just not. It's overwhelming.
Fuck it, I'm gonna roll religion. Nope.
Okay, yeah, Berg, you don't remember any stories with this, and the thing is starting to like, it's starting to reform. Its skeleton is mostly merged, and now it's kind of like
I'm
wrapping
gonna hit it again.
skin around its bones.
Berg's
Okay.
gonna hit it again to buy time.
Hearing her pathetic answer, Ramus decides to think for himself. To again, like, thinks about it.
'Kay.
With
16.
yeah,
Plus
with
guidance.
a D4. So
17.
17.
Okay, so Berg, Ziva, Ramus have all made. So that means you can make a roll of something, if you want to, but just everybody's had a chance. Okay. Jesus. I mean, shapeshifters, there's lots and lots of ways to become a shapeshifter, right? Like wizards can take whatever shape they want. It's known that the Mara have no physical form and they can adopt any shape they wish. There are monsters that can change shape. There are druids that can change shape. But I think the thing that I will reinforce for you here is that this definitely seems like a curse, and like a very powerful curse.
Yeah,
So-
clearly.
Immortality is not something anyone in this world would ever ask for. It is in all the literature, all of the like everything you've ever heard. Immortality is either a curse, like a burden. Not being allowed to die is a huge burden, because the whole purpose of a soul is to free itself of karma, to move towards enlightenment. And if you can never die, you can never do that. You never get that start over. You're stuck. So yeah, it's definitely considered a burden or a duty or a curse, and that's probably what's going on here. If this thing could just be killed, then the curse wouldn't be all that good, would it?
Can I make a history
Mhm.
check to see if this has happened before in this city of brass?
Yeah.
Or let me
Sure.
think if there's a better question there.
Mhm.
To think to think if this has occurred and how it was stopped, or how it was necessarily nullified. Did they put him in a cage that he couldn't get out of? Stuff like that. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, you can make the roll. See what happens.
That's a good 6.
I mean, for you, the stories are all just like,
Yeah, they're myths and whatnot.
yeah. But I will tell you this: everybody knows, if you're thinking about immortality, if y'all are like sharing this information, and Ramus mentions it, the king, the queen, the page, and the knight of the city of brass, they are undying. They're immortal. There's a lot of different rumors as to why that is, but they have ruled the city of brass for like 1,000 years, and the stories vary, but like it's considered to be like a burden on them, not an award. So the city is ruled by immortals, and that's like a point of contention. But there's some trivia that a 6 will net you.
Okay. In the discussion, Ramus, could we just set it on fire? Can we just put it into I look behind. Can we put it into that pot right there behind us, this big flower pot, and just set it on fire eternally?
I think you could take every piece off of its body, burn it, spit on it, shit on it, and it would still come back. It's some powerful curse from some powerful creature.
Well, we can't leave it.
Or the gods themselves. I don't know.
We can't leave it here. It's just got to continue doing this shit. It's got to get what I assume were those things out there that we killed were probably people that it killed. It'll just happen again.
Berg, in your original vision, what did you see about this gazebo? Can you recall? It sent us here, but it might not be to deal with this.
I saw the flowers and the wolves, and I don't know. It's fuzzy.
Oh, we've seen the.
That's all I saw, right, Adam? That's just the detail. Like, it wasn't anything else. Like, oh, this.
Yeah, you got it.
We could go see if the
Try slashing the flowers just for fun. That's one thing we saw in the vision were these flowers. I don't know.
Ziva stop throwing up and try it.
Do you want me to attack the flowers?
Just slash them, yeah.
Just start tearing them up. See if anything happens.
Do I need to roll for this? or-
No, you don't have to roll. Yeah, there's you just fuck, chop up these blood orchids. Yeah, that flowers go flying everywhere. You chop them up real good. You show
Is there
them.
blood everywhere?
No.
That happens.
I mean,
The
there's
blood
already
orchid.
blood. There's already blood everywhere, but that has nothing to do with
That's
this.
true. There's probably like blood and viscera just everywhere. I've been
Did it.
smashing this guy.
You killed one bush worth.
Berg's just like,
Nope, he's coming back. Ramus, what if we go and talk to the keeper of the house? Maybe
as you're
she-
talking, Berg just like, just trying to keep it in check. That was a crit too.
Yep. We could go talk to her, see if she wants this off of her estate.
I don't know. Is this the Lord of the House or is this someone different?
I don't know. I feel like this thing just wandered in here. I don't know if this has any relationship to the actual estate. Can I
Berg-
recall? Like, I would know about the noble houses, right? I would know if this resembles anything of the. I'd make a roll for it, obviously, but if this resembles anything of.
This dude is totally not a noble. This dude is
Okay.
like he's.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell. I mean, he's a shapeshifter, so who even knows what he actually looks like? But when you saw him, he was definitely not from here. I mean, the city of Brass is huge and contains multitudes, but he had the appearance. Him and his his accountment, he looks like from somewhere else. He looks like a desert wanderer or something like that. He's not
What time?
He's not a noble.
What time of day is it?
Like midday, I think.
Do these have water in it?
Yeah, and now you know.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
got like murky.
Try to drown
murky
this
water.
motherfucker.
How much water is that? That's 5 feet across. That's pretty big.
More
right?
than 5 feet across. Yeah, it's big. I mean, it's still small. You could like dunk it in there.
I don't think it's gonna work, but try it.
Well, no. I'm. What the fuck? I don't have anything big enough to like. Okay, I'll fill up my water skin if it's not already filled. I just want to go like clean off the gazebo to see.
Oh, it's gonna take more than a single water skin.
Well,
That thing is
I'm
covered with blood.
like anything in particular that might have something beneath it. I'll use that water skin to like clean off that small little like 5-inch area.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess is that a perception?
looks like
or-
clean. No, I mean, it just looks like clean stone underneath. No, there's nothing ritualistic looking about the gazebo. It's just like 6 plain stone pillars, a stone roof that casts shade on a little hexagon-shaped base. Now, who had the vision of the wolf? The guys, the tribesmen hunting the wolf at the cave.
Me.
Berg did.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay. All right. So I mean, this guy was one of those. This guy was one of those tribesmen, right? Like you recognize him from that vision. At
Okay.
least one of the faces that you saw him take on. And so if he was cursed, it happened far, far away from here.
Yeah. I think Berg just like when we're like talking about, the fuck this guy is and all that, Berg just says,
Yeah. This one was from my vision. Not the one of the gazebo, but of the tribesman. He is not from here.
We may not be able to cure this curse if we can't find the original source.
So this time, you can see it seems like every time you like hit him with the hammer, he's growing back like faster. So when you look over, the body is like very quickly. He looks like about like 13 or 14, young boy, naked, obviously. No animal appearance to him at all. He just has long, stringy, like blood-covered black hair, dark skin. He's got his eyes closed and he's like curled up in a ball, and he's just like rocking slightly and moaning as his body grows, his spine elongates, and he's growing into a man, kind of just like as you watch him.
Ramus, this might sound, I'll be honest, this might sound stupid, but what if we let him finish this and have a conversation? He probably doesn't enjoy this one bit and would probably like it to stop.
Obviously, killing him is doing nothing, so we could try that. Just out of curiosity, Adam, I'm looking into the trees. Are those black crows watching us that were? Because the woman mentioned something about the birds giving her soul to the birds or something. Are they like watching us from the trees?
No, it's just you and the creature in this vicinity. Yeah, you're all alone. I mean,
we could try tying him down. I don't think it's going to work though, but
I don't think it would help.
He's rolled
very
on.
strong.
Yeah, he's rolled onto his hands and knees, and he's like sobbing into his hands, and you can hear his skin like stretching, and he's moaning and sobbing and kind of like banging his forehead on the stone in pain. It's like he doesn't even know you're there. He's fully inside.
let it finish. At least I'll figure out where my friends are if they're still alive. One way or the other. I'm looking at Berg when I say this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have too much hope that they're alive.
I know, I'm just looking for remains that perhaps we could bury instead of smashing.
Yeah, Berg.
Berg's just like, like,
Let me ask you, Enoch. How desperate do you want to see your friend again?
He's dead. There's nothing to be done.
I mean, there are ways to bring the body back if you want it.
Body's not what I want. It's his soul. And soul's past. You know that. Keep your bullshit to yourself.
I would never bullshit.
If you allow it to come back, what if it fights? I am weak.
It would be under my control. And you can always trust me, Berg.
shakes his head.
I toss one of my healing potions to Berg. If it gets bad, this guy doesn't go down easily. Use that.
Yeah, Berg just nods and like, oh.
Yeah, I turn to the thing, creature, whatever.
Yep.
Hey, did you hurry the fuck up? Like, I'm just waiting for it to finish.
Yeah, and I think it like he throws his head back and gets up on his knees and he's grabbing at his head and you can see his hair growing down into his face. He's got like a beard growing out of his chin now, and he looks up at you and you can see he's got like human eyes, and he looks at you, Enoch, and you were with Idris for a long time, right? Like Idris has known you since he was a kid, or you were a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's something that he would have like Idris would have called you that like only he would know? Like, did he have like a nickname for you, or like call you like, you know, like the Alfred thing, like Master Bruce or whatever? Like, did he have a thing that he called you?
Trying to think of something that would make sense. I mean, probably just, I guess, just Master Enoch.
Yeah. Okay. So
if he would ever say anything not that, if it would appear as if he was talking down, and people would get upset by that, and he was always one to abide by the rules.
Yeah. So he puts one hand on his heart, and he reaches out to you and he's like, "Please, Master Enoch, no, a moment." And he turns and looks at Berg like we're ready to get hit with the hammer again.
Berg just glaring at him.
Do I recognize the voice?
It sounds like you're hearing both voices at once. One is like a young boy's voice, accented with the dialect of Common they speak in the desert tribes. The other is the voice of Idris, yeah. But it's like he speaks with two voices.
Like layered on each other.
Yeah.
look at him. I put my hand up to make sure Berg doesn't strike, and I say, Idris, what is this? Is that you? How are you alive? What is happening?
He shakes his head and like brushes the kind of gore soaked hair out of his face. He says, both alive and dead. And he like looks up at you.
How do we end it?
Impossible. Nothing ends.
Idris is the one's face I smashed, right?
Yeah.
All right. I think Berg's just like,
I smashed your face.
like kind of puzzled by this whole, like that Berg is just confused, and that's just all he says, like just kind of like a stream of consciousness.
Does he respond?
Whether or not the thing responds is entirely, you know.
I mean, he looks at you, Enoch, and he says, I know you. I remember you as a boy. And he tells some story like about that again only Idris would know, like taking you to like the lake or like something that you wouldn't have told anybody else. What is that story? Like what's
I think the story is he says like he starts saying a story, and I say no, how'd the family house end? What happened? Tell that story. We only knew that.
Yeah, I think he looks to you, and then looks at he looks at your companions as if to ask, like, you know, are you sure? Because he knows this is dangerous. This is dangerous information.
Yes. How did it end?
Okay. So, how much would Idris have known about this, like detail-wise?
He was well informed. He probably got told what was happening by my father, and said like, save Enoch. That's your only role. This is what's happening.
Right. And the detail was it like, remind me of what, because we talked a little bit about it, but I want to make sure that I've got all the stuff that you want in the story that he tells. So I mean, we can imagine Idris is telling it, but like, what does he say?
He tells a story of the house catching on fire, and different things exploding in their containers and their vials, and kind of just burning inside of itself on the inside out, through some sort of
he says
action.
there was an accident or sabotage, terrible fire. Only a few survived. Your father made me swear to protect you.
I turn to Berg and say, you'll not harm this man anymore. That's Idris.
That is not a man.
Well, it used to be. Maybe we can figure this out. There's no need to kill him. It's just going to happen again. Who else is in there with you? You said there's 2 of you.
Yeah, he just looks at you and he says in a low voice, he says, multitudes.
Well, how much control do you have?
He looks over at Berg, and Berg, what are you doing when we see him look over and you follow?
I'm just staring straight at him, ready to smack him if he's out of order.
He's looking at a big like bite, like gouge on your arm.
Oh. Okay.
So he just looks like nervously at it. And I think he says in Orcish, because you speak Orcish, right?
Yep.
He wouldn't say I'm sorry, because there's no I'm sorry in Orcish. That's not a thing. Like orcs don't apologize. But he says he expresses regret. He says to you in Orcish, he says something like, there is a blood debt for a job unfinished.
I think Berg is like slightly puzzled by this, but just says back to an Orcish, like, what do you mean?
Berg, what? Stop. What are you 2 saying?
He says the hunger. You will come to know it.
I think Berg just says,
I think he's saying I will become like him.
And he
And I like motion to the, like the bite.
The bite. He shakes his head and says again in comments so everyone can hear him. No, lesser.
Well, we got to figure out how to stop that for both your and his sake.
Well, yeah, and maybe there's a moment there, right, where everybody kind of like looks nervously at each other, like, oh God, what do we do now? And we fade to break, because there is that awkward like, cool, nope, you're cursed too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out after this, or at least try to get started on it.
If Berg ends that way, yeah, he's done some cool shit. Remember when Berg was cool and then he turned into a crazy werewolf and
if
everyone had to kill
anything,
him?
you're not gonna die. You're gonna live forever, from the sounds of it. So you're
Whatever, yeah. Although he's old man Berg.
We're not saying goodbye. We're saying you got to get this shit figured out.
I got something I could try tomorrow.
Okay. Well, let's take a break. Maybe we'll take a rest and see if Ramis can do anything afterwards. We'll be right back, though, going into our final break. We'll see you for hour 4 after this. Be right back.